Movies are dreams that you never forget. Sammy?
Imagine if that had been the first film that Steven Spielberg ever saw in his childhood. How much more different of a career would that have been? Anyway, welcome to my 6th movie review. We're just trucking right along with these, aren't we? And yes, that is a reference to Steven's first film, Duel. Suck on that, nerds! Anyway, here's my review for The Fabelmans.
That's where guys like Bert are figuring out how to use what he's made to... They're gonna change the whole goddamn world, so this was the right decision.
Oh god, do I have to go through the whole history of Steven Spielberg's life? Because I'm not. Long story short, Steven is a very famous and successful filmmaker who has created some of the biggest movies of all time. Jaws, Jurassic Park, Schindler's List, Saving Private Ryan, E.T., I can go on and on. All you need to know is that this dude is one of the biggest directors on the planet. So of course we're gonna get a movie about his childhood at some point. The Fabelmans was originally conceived sometime around 1999, with Steven's sister Anne writing the script. Yet it was put on hold due to Steven's fear that his family may be hurt by the experience of making it into a movie. 20 years later, and 2 passings after, Steven revisited the idea while making West Side Story. He and frequent collaborator Troy Kushner worked on the script, kicking his sister Anne to the curb in writing credits. And thus, we have The Fabelmans. Now, obviously, the harsher moments I just mentioned are fabricated, as Steven's spirits have nagged him to make a film about their lives before they passed. So, you know, a bit too late there. Steven had also told Tony his life story and got encouragement from him to tell the tale. In 2020, during the pandemic lockdown, both of them got to work and finished the script within 2 months. But why Fabelmans? Why not Spielberg's? The reason came from Steven deciding that even though this was a life story, there was also plenty of fictional elements in it, and Fabelmans is a nod to that. Whatever the case, I think it works, even if general audiences probably wouldn't put the two together if not told directly.
I'm asking you to do this now for your mom.
Yeah, and I said that I will, just not tomorrow.
Don't be selfish. She just lost her mother. That's more important than your hobby.
Dad, can you stop calling it a hobby?
The story here is a look at Sammy Fabelman's early life, his discovery of his love of film, how he learns to hone his craft, and his family's role in all of it. We begin with him as a small child and end with him just before getting his big break, and the highs and lows that life generally has for an individual. I really need to say first that if you go into this expecting the full life of Steven Spielberg, you're gonna be disappointed. This doesn't look at him like creating Jaws or any of his mega hits, nor does it go into his early days on set or his first film directing gig on Night Gallery. This is pure childhood Steven, or Sammy as the character is known in the film. That being said, if you come at it with those expectations in check, this is a pretty damn good movie. The funny thing is that a majority of it actually stops talking about film and Sammy's love for it and focuses more on his parents and what they're going through. It's not bad per se, but I personally do think that we spend a bit too much time on this plot rather than seeing his love of film grow. What carries it the whole way through, though, is just how good the performances are here. Gabriel LaBelle is great as Sammy and plays what I expect a young Steven would be like. Special shout out to Mateo DeFord, who plays the young kid Sammy at the beginning of the movie, and also does a pretty good job. But really, the stars here are the parents, played by Michelle Williams and Paul Dano. Michelle definitely has the meteor role, showing what she could do with this type of character, but I also really enjoyed Paul's performance. I was a bit worried going in, as many were saying he just wasn't as good, but maybe it's because I went in expecting that I came away thinking he did a really good job as well. Sure, it's not as powerful as Michelle's, but it's definitely still strong, and helps carry the film. That being said, The real show stealer here is Judd Hirsch as Sammy's uncle, who comes in for about 7 minutes and makes it one of the best moments of the movie. His speech is what's going to resonate with most movie enthusiasts and anyone looking to work in the industry. It's understandable why he would get the nomination. Say what you want about Spielberg films, they are shot very professionally. He also has some fun with the process, one in particular at the very end that finishes the film on a strong moment. The costumes and sets are appropriate, nothing mind-blowing, but it gets the job done. There have been some that have criticized the score, but I found it to be nice enough. Is it super amazing? No, but it fits the film well, and on its own, it's not bad to listen to. If there is one major thing that I always have a problem with Spielberg films, it's just how much goddamn whimsy he throws into them. This one is no exception. His mom dances in front of car lights. Whimsy. He shows a movie to his high school bullies. Whimsy. He has his first wet dream. Whimsy. Okay, that last one doesn't happen, but if it did, you best believe it would be whimsical. I wish he would tone it down. No one's life is this whimsical. Apart from that, I guess the only other thing I can say is that his films just don't pack a punch anymore. Maybe it's because movies have evolved in so many ways over the last few decades and his style generally feels the same that I typically feel underwhelmed by them. Are they shot well? Yes. Are they unwatchable? No. But these aren't the type of films you want to watch over and over again like his previous ones, which is a shame. But he also doesn't need to make them that way. He has a ton under his belt, more than anyone could ever hope to dream. So while it would be nice, I can't fault him for not changing it up.
Now remember this. When the horizon's at the bottom, it's interesting. When the horizon's at the top, it's interesting. When the horizon's in the middle, it's boring as shit.
I enjoyed my time with the Fabelmans quite a bit. I don't think this is going to be remembered as much or as fondly as some of Steven's previous films, but it's still a solid movie that is easy to watch and I can see plenty of people enjoying. Thusly, I give the Fabelmans a 4 out of 5 with a recommendation to rent it. It's not something you need to hurry up and see, but if you've got the time, I would give this a look-see. After watching the movie, I actually think it's crazy to think about how phones can now help us make films. So, I mean, it's a very nice time capsule, and just watching the whole editing process. Editing already sucks, but back then it must have been a bitch. How the hell did this movie not get nominated for editing? I don't know. Anyways, if you are disappointed that this isn't the full life of Steven Spielberg, well, first and foremost, I'm sure we're gonna get that someday in the future. But second of all, honestly, I would just go back and watch his films, and you could get a really good understanding of who the man is and how he grew up just analyzing those films. So, you know, take some solace in that, I guess. Anyways, we're getting close to the end, guys. We got more movies coming up, but yeah, we can see the finish line. So please come back tomorrow for another review. Until then, stay safe out there and have a good one.